Buongiorno. Okay, we're gonna go on a virtual trip through Italy. Now, rather than do all the standard stops, I'm gonna take you on a trip that I actually went on last year to some of the favorite little secret spots that I found when I was traveling with my girlfriend. All right, let's go. We're gonna start out in Rome because that's most likely where you're gonna fly into. And in Rome, it's one of these amazing cities that's actually so famous, but it's not overrated. It's appropriately rated, which is just insane. From everything from the Colosseum to the Pantheon, the Trevi Fountain, the Spanish Steps. Depending on what you're looking for when you're there, one amazing thing to see, one area that's great to see that's kind of a little bit hipster, a little bit like Williamsburgy, is Trastevere. It's over here on the left-hand side. Inside of Trastevere is all these tiny little streets, and inside of all of these little streets is a million cool little hipster restaurants. And that's just super charming to see. You can see a little bit of the vibe here. One of my favorite things that I did was rented a scooter, rode over through the Vatican, of course. The Vatican is another place, not overrated, totally worth seeing. Anyway, yeah, I rented a scooter, a Vespa from up this neck of the woods, rode over through Trastevere and up to this little place up here. And there's this epic little monument, and the view from right here was so cool because you could just sit here and take in the entirety of the skyline of Rome, which this person's camera is way too wide angle, so we're gonna not take their view. But there is this little bar here that'll sell you a beer, and only one beer if you're riding a scooter, please. But it's such an amazing little outlook. You get the idea from these pictures, but like you can just see all the gorgeous skyline across the way. Trastevere is this area that you're gonna really want to come and have some drinks in, inside of all these little streets or all these little bars and little hidden spots that are wonderful to check out. Okay, Rome is in and of itself its fully owned chapter, and we will cover that another day. But for now, we're gonna do the road trip. The road trip is gonna take us from Rome down to Naples, over to the island of Capri, back over through Naples, down up over these mountain roads into Sorrento, from Sorrento over into Positano, then through the whole Amalfi Coast, hitting all these little spots, and then ending in Salerno. From there, you can drive back up to Rome or carry on down the coast. So from Rome heading down, you've got two options. You can take the highway or you can take the scenic byway. If you're looking for speed, you're going to want to take the highway, and that'll take you from here. We'll go Rome to Naples. So as on a highway, it's going to be about 2 hours of the journey. But if you want to take some of the coastal roads here, it'll add a couple hours or maybe an hour to your journey. This is actually very similar to the route that I took, which was get some distance away first from Rome and then pop down up across the mountains. So this section of mountains here was incredible because you're just driving through this coastal road, coming up over the mountains and then you start to, where'd map go? Then you start to come out towards the Mediterranean, and there's just a million beautiful little spots to see, and there's all these little spots you can stop for photos along the way. Let's just pop in and see what these guys are showing us. Now, Rome has been, and the Italian coastline has been home to civilization for so long. There's just so much old stuff that's around that if you grew up in North America, we're just not used to having so much of it. So driving along here was really cool. There's a lot of little spots you can stop, have a coffee, whatever. You can easily see this beautiful coastline. We stopped here in Gaeta. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It was a fun little spot to stop. You can start to see where the beaches are very easily. From Gaeta, you can just head down. We enter the city of Naples, which is quite a city. Now, I will say this, Naples is like a little on the sketchy side as far as cities go. It feels a bit sketchy. It's a bit rough around the edges, let's say. Naples only has a population of 1 million people, 967. Naples to me, I thought it's a great service point for getting into Capri because that was gorgeous. So once you get into Capri, or once you get into Naples, there's a million ferries you can take. So for about 14, 15, or 20 euros, you can jump on a boat from Naples to Capri. So from Naples, you can take boats to either Capri or to Ischia. These are both beautiful islands, but we're going to focus on Capri. Now, Capri as an island is really unique because it's got this one massive mountain here, and in the center, it's actually extremely narrow. So when you're up in the town, your ferry will come into the port down here. There's a scooter rental place right there. I rented a little scooter for 20 euros. And from there, you can jump on and cruise. Taking this little road up through this cut in the mountain. Just look at this view. This is Google Maps view too, along here. So here's where we get a cool fact about Mount Vesuvius, the mountain which flattened Pompeii. You can see it steaming there in the distance. We're coming back to the island as we take a little tour over to this side of the island. So we're going away from the city center, which is up here. As you go away from the city center over to this side, you'll come into the little town of Anacapri, which has a bunch of little restaurants, a little tiny square. You can kind of walk down the street. There's some little shopping districts and that kind of thing. Super charming. Pick your own little spot to dine at. And you can get on this little tiny escalator. What do you call it? It's like a ski lift, but for people. I'm going to show you a little picture that I have from when we were there. And here's the top. There's a little video, 360 video from the top. Woo! All right. Take this little chairlift up to the top, and then you can go up to this top point, and from up there, I can show you some pictures of what the view is like. And from here, you can actually see down to what is probably the best known part of Capri, which is these little rocks. Faraglioni di mezzo. And I know you've seen these on Instagram before. As you come down from Anacapri, you follow the road down here. You want to come down to Bar Malibu by Lido de Faro. So there's a lighthouse down here, and there's a little bar, and you can have the most gorgeous view at sunset from here, looking off to the west. It's one of the best sunsets on the island of Capri. Now, not to mention, of course, Capri also has the Blue Lagoon, which is definitely worth watching. And as you come back into Capri, you should have a little look at the town. Capri, for the purpose of this road trip, it's a great little, maybe stay one night, have a little tour around the town, or you can even take a ferry in the morning, see the town, and then head back. But I'd suggest staying overnight because it's a way better stay than you'll have in Naples. Now, walking through the old town of Capri, one of the most surprising things that I found about it was the sheer luxness of it all. And by luxe, I mean you walk past Prada, Chanel, every single luxury brand that was popping in and out of five-star hotels. And absolutely stunning. All right, we're going to head back on the ferry, back over to Naples. As we get back into Naples, for me, the highlight of Naples is stopping in for pizza at the pizza spot from Eat, Pray, Love. L'Antica Pizzeria da Michele. And apologies for my terrible Italian. So this is one of the best pizza places in Italy. Leaving Naples behind, we're going to cruise on over. If you're a bit of a history nerd like me, it would be amazing to stop in Pompeii. Now, the most surprising thing about Pompeii is just how absolutely massive it was. It takes up, where you can see my mouse going, takes up this whole area. There's the Teatro Grande, the Teatro Piccolo, and you can see just all these amazing sights. It's well worth almost a full day of walking around and checking out and just seeing what it was like. Carrying on from there and leaving Naples behind, you'll carry on to the quaint little town of Sorrento. Driving through these mountain roads is a real treat. Because the timing that I was driving at, I was getting sunset and a rainbow as I was coming down up and over these mountains, coming into Sorrento. And Sorrento is just perched on this cliff hill edge. And on that edge of the hill is all these different hotels. One of my favorite life hacks is if you don't want to pay for a 5-star hotel, but you want to have a bit of an experience, could just go to their restaurant or go to their bar. The prices aren't that over the top. And if you have a bottle of wine in Spain or if you have a bottle of wine in Italy for 20 euros or so, you can actually have the whole 5-star experience for 25, 30 euros, whatever it might be. And so sitting there, you can enjoy. So from Sorrento, there's tons of little streets, little shopping you can check out all through the town. Well worth spending a night or two there. You'll really enjoy it. From Sorrento onwards, you could go all the way to the edge here, which will get you a little bit more time on these coastal roads. Now, if you're a little uncomfortable driving on tight roads, this will be where your stress kicks in. These can be some very narrow roads with some very blind corners, so be careful. You're going to want to pick a spot at the top of the town and go from there. Now, from this 3D, you can see a little bit of how it's situated. The town down here has a beach, and it's just all these terraced, hilly sections. When you stop at the top, you can walk down, have lunch, have dinner, stay a day or two. I would highly recommend it if you have the time. Positano is absolutely beautiful. One of the most beautiful towns on the Amalfi Coast. And that's it. That's the tour. That is what I suggest the route is you take through the Amalfi Coast from Rome to Capri. This is a great little nutshell tour you could do in as little as 4 or 5 days. But I mean, take longer if you can. Thanks for joining us on this first virtual road trip with Solgar. Where do you want to see us go next? Drop a comment below and let us know.